So we are so happy to have you today, especially that it's International Day of Happiness at the World Happiness Summit. What better way to celebrate than to have Romero here share a little bit about his story and his method behind art and why it's so important for you to paint happiness.
Well, first of all, I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you so much for the invitation. And in the world that we live, it's so important for us to stop and just kind of reconnect and celebrate this beautiful thing to be alive and be here in let's say us live in America, and some part of the world that we have so many possibilities and freedom. And since I was a kid, I always liked colors, and I could never tell why. And I just like colors, and I like drawings, and there was a point that I wanted to, maybe I should have a job, but I never thought that art would do anything to me, in my life, and it was just like something was that I liked doing, but I never went to art school, and then my thought was to be a diplomat, to go to diplomacy and then travel the world, meeting people, speak different languages. And but then when I was in law school, I realized I was miserable, and then I made this kind of move that was crazy, and I quit law school in my fourth semester, and I just dive into art. And as I keep doing my work, people keep telling me, "Oh my God, your art made me happy. Your art made me feel this way." I remember once a lady got so many of my pieces, and she just had cancer operation. She was going through a treatment of cancer, and then she wanted to be surrounded by my art. But I had so many stories, and then I started realizing that my art was, I loved doing that, but I never thought it would be like, the reaction was like that. And then I started like, wow, I can't believe that people like what I do this way, Because when you're a young guy, you question yourself, is that good? Is that whatever? And the more you show, the more, comments comes. And sometimes if you do an exhibition in a museum, in a gallery, or whatever, and art critics, they can kill you. But it was always this question, what I'm doing is okay, if it's like, it means anything, But, I started realizing, self-reflection, that my art made me feel good. And I was super thrilled to know that my art made other people feel good. And today, I know, people react to my art, and then, it just being an amazing success. It'd be an incredible journey, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm happy to be here today to talk about happiness. So my hope, thank you. My hope is that, I want to create images of happiness and hope. And there you go.
And you have done that. Many of you don't know that during the pandemic, when the schools went online, right? Very early in the pandemic, and there was a lot of anxiety and a lot of questions on how to engage students and do in such. And you came on, Romero, remember? You came on and you did a class for the Broward County School District, which is, I think, the number 6 largest in the country. And you were giving back to the kids and to the community, because I know that's very important to you. Everybody sees your life, you're having fun and you're happy, and the art is happy. It's Miami and Brazil, right? But tell me a little bit of how important it is to do your work with children or with hospitals. I know you do a lot.
Well, the first time I got involved in a charity event here in the U.S. was many, many years ago with the American Red Cross. And then I was like, wow, I can help people with something that I created. And it was a great feeling. And ever since, I keep doing more things with charity organizations. I work with so many organizations. And it's a good thing, and I suggest to anybody to volunteer, do things. I wish I could do even more. Some time ago, one of my staff told me we should just transform the entire organization into a foundation. But we can't at this point, but eventually we will do that. But it's a good thing, right, that you can do something to others. You don't necessarily need to know them personally, but just being part of the whole process that, I do something, you do something, and everybody together do something, spectacular. So I'm very grateful to be able to do with my art and be able to help people.
So today, on the third day of the summit, we focus a lot on community, right? And we've talked about the impact. So we've had scientists, we've had professors, physicians, and many of them, their work has impacted so many people that they don't even know. You know, the impact, very much like your work through art, how it's rippled and has had a positive impact around the world by having this life. It's life, really. It's happiness, it's hope, and it's life. And I think during these times, it's so important to also focus on what is going right and what is beautiful. And your art certainly does that. I think we can all agree on that. Let me ask you about Britto Palace. What is your vision with Britto Palace? Why did you create it? You're this amazing, you have a huge studio. I think it's the largest artist studio in the world.
Right.
And you have all your mementos there and family pictures and pictures with the Queen, with the Prince, with presidents, with everyone, with children. What is your vision with Britto Palace?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think it's so important to have a place, that you go to work every day and then you can share with your team, beautiful, space. And, we try our best to make our work environment to be very special. And at the same time, we have things there, throughout the walls. And as you can see, a reminder of what we've done in the past, because I think, it's such a great thing that every time in the morning, like that goes today's, what happened today, 20 years from now, if we don't have a picture or a video, or mostly a picture, because of video, people, turn off the TV. But I think it's so important that anything that make you happy, or any memories that make you happy from your family, friends, or any experience you have, you put on your wall, because you're going to look at that. You're going to remind you of something that you did, and you're going to be a great feeling in your heart. A lot of time people put things in their attic, something that you love it and stay there for the rest of people's lives, and you never see it. But I think it's important that if you have anything that reminds you, and that's what the palace is about. And I've been very blessed and lucky, to have incredible team. Without them, I couldn't do that just by myself. So it's like a teamwork, and like a dream teamwork. We all together do that. And with the new CEO, also Lucas, that he's just has an incredible vision as well. And so I mean, we all working on that. And I would love in the future to be able to be open to the public. Unfortunately, we can't be open to the public, but we have special tours that we organize, and people come over there. We constantly having guests there, but it's so special, and I wish in the future we're gonna open to the public and people could go without being invited. They can just go and visit, but it's gonna happen, and we're working on that.
So one of the things that we were talking about yesterday, one of the topics was well-being and happiness at work. And aside from being an artist, you're also a leader within your organization, along with Lucas Vidal, your CEO. Some of the things that impacted me were, one, a lot of your team came to the conference, so I think that was amazing that you opened up to your team. And yes. And the other thing is the kitchen is huge, and it has one communal table, and it's, I don't know, 40 or 50 chairs, but it's,
it's about 80 chairs.
Okay, 80 chairs, and it's that sense of everybody together, and so that was something that I saw there. Let me ask you, how do you lead this team through this difficult period that we've had? How do you keep them motivated and engaged?
Well, I mean, listen, this is something that we never, all of us, the whole world never went through. And I must say, if I didn't have in that moment, because I tried so many times, because I never went to business school, I never went to art school. Everything I did was just started I wanted to do my best every day, and I always tried to get great people. I didn't know anything about accounting. I got a great accountant. Always trying to team up with nice people, and that they knew more than me. But this time, if I didn't have Dr. Vidal had just started. If I didn't have him there to help go through the process, I don't know how that would be, because it was pretty difficult, because all of a sudden there was nobody wanted to come to, couldn't go to work. It was not that, there was nobody. We had a huge team, and all of a sudden I was just me and Dr. Vidal going every day to, to work, because I went every day to work. I didn't miss a day.
Wow.
So, so it was, a combination, me creating my art and Dr. Lucas, figuring out everything about the business, because I was just so like, it was too much, it's like, it was one of those situations that nobody expected that. And so anyway, here we are, and I've been very grateful for a lot of collectors. There was a collector from England that she stayed here in her place in Miami, and every time that I create a piece of art, I did so much work during the pandemic, and she bought so much of my work. So she was really an angel and a beautiful lady.
So fantastic. So it's the leadership that needs support, and it's really this idea that we know it's the team, right? Really. And one last question, and this is something that we've talked about before, that perhaps when you're going to paint, before you're going to paint, perhaps you're not feeling happy, but you make a decision to paint something that will make others happy. And what is the process for you?
Well, I have done, so many people through the years ask me, are you a happy guy? Because my art is so happy, right? Colorful, fun. I never create like things I've done a long time ago, but now, my work is all up. And then people say, are you a happy person? I was like, it was really, I had the courage little by little to tell people, listen, I'm not, I'm searching for happiness through my art. When I'm creating this piece of art, I don't want to replicate anything sad, or I don't want to do anything that make me, at the process of doing something colorful and fun, it just, I put on the music, and all of a sudden, all the thing that's bothering me in my head or whatever, concern, it just keep it going, and then you say, oh my God, the day is over, and tomorrow is coming, it's going to be another amazing day, so a lot of time we create so much thing in our mind, and I'm a kind of person that I think so much about things, and I'm trying my best not to think too much about one thing, and one day a self-reflection was that, because when I want to do something, I think so much, and I end up doing it, because you focus on that. But then something that bothers me, if I think so much, it drives me crazy. So the art was a way that could really kind of like calms me down, and all of a sudden the day was over, as I say, and then everything was okay. You know what I mean? So it was like, I definitely never want to paint anything dark and horrible. I don't think nobody wants also to bring anything, to their home that is depressive, or nobody wants to say, I'm going to go to a restaurant, suggest to a friend, listen, there's this a restaurant so great. It's so depressive. The food is horrible. No, imagine, nobody's going to say that. Oh, go to that restaurant. It's so depressed. It's so awful. You're going to love it.
That's a great point.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So nobody, go to that place, they're going to make you feel terrible, your children or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the idea is to be surrounded by fun things that you love, things that you treasure, things that you appreciate. And then all those little things, it make you feel like, feel good. Yeah. And then you feel like, wow, this is amazing, and be at the moment. That's another thing that, I've been like practicing a lot, to be at the moment, enjoying right now.
Well, we certainly enjoyed you coming here today and sharing your story, and, from around the world, sharing your art, which does make us happy. So thank you, Romero. Thank you for coming.
No, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.